Let's have a little fun and talk about arena games. So this past week, I ran a July giveaway for my birthday, and part of the grand prize was an Arena Games fun bag, which I have here in my lap. And I'm going to take this bag as requested by one of the Falls and Footfalls followers and go through this bag filled with fun toys and talk about some games and activities that you can do with them, and then also some riding skills that you can reinforce while you're doing those games, either in your able-bodied lessons or even in your adaptive or therapeutic riding lessons. Just on a side note, I use the term adaptive riding lessons versus therapeutic, so kind of same thing depending on where you're at in that terminology usage. So this bag is filled with the toys that's going to be going out to the first prize winner. I'm going to start digging through here. In all honesty, I have not looked at the stuff in this bag since I bought it. What I usually do is I go to the dollar store or to like Target, and I grab stuff on clearance that I think could work really well in my horsemanship or my riding lessons for any of my students. And one of the things I really like to do is either I do giveaways, or sometimes I'll send this out to a mentee that I've been working with that passed certification, and as a congratulations, I'll send them like a little arena toy starter bag. So the stuff that I use changes and varies. So you guys get to kind of see an off-the-cuff thing of how I look at a toy and would incorporate it into the arena. Kind of little disclaimer here, most of you guys are probably horse people and but if you choose to get a toy from the store, please school it with your horse before you incorporate it into a lesson with your student. And don't just show it to your horse one time. Repetitively introduce that toy and that activity over and over on a consistent basis so that your horse just stays used to that activity or item or whatever you're doing. All right, so let's dig in here. So first thing I have, this was not at the dollar store, but these are some nice Polo Wraps. These were something that I wanted to give away that I'm going to gift because I have a whole bunch of Polo Wraps, but these are really nice. They're a little stretchy. The texture shouldn't grab dirt too much, which is why I'm passing these on to another instructor. So Polo Wraps are not just for wrapping your horse's legs, but what you could do is you can use these in a team building activity, stretch out the Polo Wrap between one student and another student, and they could work on steering or reining their horse one-handed while walking side by side with another person. So you could also work on safe spacing and keeping that spacing between yourself and another rider. And a Polo Wrap is a great visual of that distance that you might need to keep in between your horse and another horse. Another thing that you could use these for is you could wrap it around your horse's neck and kind of use it as an impromptu SOS, a shit oh shit strap. PG-13 here, but you could wrap these around the neck if you don't have a stirrup leather handy to go around the horse's neck, or one that attaches to the D-ring on the front of your saddle. So Polo Wraps can be a great marker for that. These can also be used as kind of like a walkthrough. So instead of a pool noodle horse wash or pool noodle car wash, you could do a whole bunch of Polo Wraps going across the top where your students have to ride through them. So that's a great way to kind of use up all those Polo Wraps that get donated to your center that we have, hundreds of, and we don't know what to do with them. So that's a few ideas that come to mind with Polo Wraps. So team building, working on spacing, reinforcing one-handed riding, reinforcing the safe spacing of riding next to somebody. If you want to work on fine and gross motor skills and finger coordination, you could teach students how to wrap a Polo Wrap for horsemanship skills. And again, not a therapist here at all, sticky on the recreational side, but if we take things like fine and gross motor skills, grip strength, core strength, all of those things, we can work on those, but we need to tie it back into a riding skill or a horsemanship skill to make sure that we're not crossing that line into being a therapist. So our students need fine and gross motor skills in order to be the best horse person they can be and perform certain riding skills or horsemanship skills. They need grip strength to hold on to their reins. They need core strength to be able to adapt and move with the horse's balance. So any of those more, technical terms that I throw in along those lines, please know that this is not meant to be a therapist at all. I am an adaptive riding instructor. I am not a therapist. However, I am very well educated on the human body, different, body mechanics, all of that, and things that need to go into horseback riding. So, sorry, little soapbox disclaimer there. All right, Carolyn, you're welcome for making this video. Thanks for bringing it up. Great idea. And hi, Kylie. Hi, Anne. Anne, is it Anne or Annie? Hi, Christina. Okay, so next thing I'm going to grab here. All right, we have a little spinner wheel. Pack of, 4. There's 4 in here. So what you can do with this spinner wheel, when I saw this, is I thought this would be really fun for the students to flick the little spinner, and they would have to do certain, either, hold 2 point for 8 seconds or hold 2 point for 4 seconds. Or they could go out and for their warm-up lap, they, if it spun around and landed on 4, they need to go do 4 woes and walk-ons, or come up with a pattern that has 3 steps in it, anything along those lines. So really great, kind of fun way. You'll get the energy up a little bit if you need to. Fun way to kind of change up warm-ups, cool down, arena patterns, anything along those lines. So they're spinners. They are, cardboard, so don't leave these out if you water your arena. All right, next thing in here. Oh, and actually these two went together. Okay, so we have the spinners, and then we have this large foam dice. And actually I saw one of my mentees using one of these in her lesson, and she wrote on there, she had different obstacles set up in the arena. So like a diamond, a box, I'm trying to remember the different things, but she had it written on there, and the students had to roll the dice and go do that piece of the arena pattern. So, they had to woe with all 4 feet in the box, or they had to walk through the narrow side of the diamond. So this is dry erase, so you can actually write different activities on here, and it could pair with this by having your students spin their number, and then they have to roll the dice to see what they have to go do, whether it's a warm-up, so arm circles or toe touches, or if it's a riding skill like woes and walk-ons, something like that. So these two can be used together or separately, however you want to do it. All right. And Kylie, you're welcome for doing the video. Thanks for kind of trading off writing down all of this for doing a video. That's a whole lot easier for me. Okay, so the next thing we have here is we have little clips. You can find these clips either in the hair section or in the, you can also use like chip clips as well. These happen to be hair clips, they have little teeth on them. But these are really great for riding around, and the students can pick up a clip off the barrel, out of a bucket, whatever you want to do, and they have to squeeze the clip and then put it on their horse's mane. So again, really good coordination skills, fingers, hand strength, and this could tie into, holding reins or learning different parts of your saddle or your horse. So you could ask them, can you clip it up on the crest? Can you clip it to your stirrup leather? So there's different ways that you could use these depending on the size and kind of how they clip on. Fair warning though, some of these are really hard to squeeze and open. So just test them out before you use them. These aren't too bad, but you might have to kind of go alongside and help your student with them. Don't do it for them, but just help them if they are a little stiff, or give them to a volunteer and tell them to work on these for like 10 minutes and just sit there and squeeze them open and shut to try to get them a little bit less springy. So there's those. All right, next thing we have here is we have a whiteboard. This one is from the dollar store. If you really like incorporating whiteboards into your lesson, I would highly recommend going and investing in a really nice one from like Office Max or somewhere like that. These are really great for ones that might accidentally get left out in the arena. You know, say if you have volunteers helping out, these are a good cheap option. But if you have one that you want to use as an instructor, I would go invest in one, because these sometimes don't wipe off as great. But whiteboards are really great for communicating with your students. You could draw out the pattern that you have in the arena and then ask your student to trace through the pattern first with their finger and then go out and write it. You know, being able to read a pattern on paper and then go out and do it is a completely different it's its own cognitive skill on its own. So, you know, that's something that people need to learn how to do. You could give your students options. So, you know, if you don't have like little, they're called PEX cards for a student to choose if they want to go to the barrel or the pole or whatever, you could draw on here a barrel, a pole, a cone, and have them point to which obstacle they want to next. So this is really great for communication for nonverbal or limited verbal students. This is really great for teaching students how to read a pattern. Really good for spatial awareness of where they're at in the arena. So you could ask them, you know, okay, we're here at the, you're in the arena, point to where you're at in the arena on this drawing, and they could practice that as well. Or you could have them practice writing answers or writing their names. So, you know, incorporating some literacy in there as well. There's tons of things that you can do with whiteboards. Alrighty, let's see. Next thing we have in here, I have some cards that I grabbed. Okay, so we have the same or different games. So they have to point out which ones are the same. Colors and shapes. And then we have color connect, so just different cards with colors on them. You know, depending on what game packs you happen to find at the store, you could set these out on different barrels. So, you know, they might have to go ride to a barrel and they could pick a card and tell their team what's the same or what's the difference. Or maybe they need to, you know, verbally be told to go find the green circle, and then they need to go find whatever obstacle has the green circle on it. These could even be used as visual markers. So maybe you know, tape might destroy it, but, you know, put these up somewhere around the arena and they could be used as markers. So you could tell your student to go ride to the green circle or ride to the yellow diamond. So these could be used for planning ahead. If you're having students stop by barrels or, you know, stations to pick up and work through these cards, a good riding skill to reinforce would be setting down and picking up rein. So rein management. You know, that's something that you can reinforce. So just because we're riding around and we're having fun and we're playing a game of, you know, colors and same or different, doesn't mean that we can't reinforce basic riding skills like rein acquisition. So picking them up, where do we put our hands right away? How do we put our thumbs on the top? You know, every single time we pick up our reins. Woes and walk-ons, whether that's a tap, a verbal cue, using the legs, using the core strength to help stabilize themselves during those transitions. You know, tons of different things that you can do with just station to station type games like this. And if there are any games that you guys are seeing on here or little props that you have another idea for, feel free to comment, because in all honesty, the creative game thing is totally not really my wheelhouse. These are ones that I use quite often, but there are some instructors that come up with some really cool ideas of how to use stuff that, you know, I've never heard of and probably you've never heard of too. So if you have another idea, by all means, incorporate it or drop a comment here. All right, so let's see. Another thing I have, okay, so I have a spoon. And be careful with the riders that you give things to that could hit horses or hit people. Sometimes these go flying across the arena, so be aware of these. But there's a couple different things that you could do with the spoon. One of them was this Pom Poms bag. There are different colors in here, so you could either have your student just scoop up some Pom Poms and dump them into a bucket, or, you know, assuming it's not too windy of a day, or you could even have your students scoop up certain colors. So they have to kind of work that spoon around in there to get certain colors of the Pom Poms. Another thing you could use with this, I'm not sure if I have it in here. No, they didn't have any. You could get like cooking tongs, and they could also do, instead of scooping, you could do like little cooking tongs and picking up the Pom Poms and carrying them around. So again, really good, hand-eye coordination, motor skills, hand strength, balance. This would be really good to incorporate as, again, rein acquisition, woes and walk-ons as you're at the stations doing this fun stuff. Pom Poms, I would suggest getting them somewhere cheap and in bulk, because usually when they hit the ground, they get all nasty. And then the other thing I have in here is kind of a variation on egg and spoon. The dollar store often has these cool, cute little like frogs and ducks and stuff that are like little bath toys, and they have just enough weight on there to work pretty well for an egg and spoon race. So you could have the riders either ride in teams, so the frog team and the duck team, or they could just pick whatever they want. And again, they could practice holding the spoon in one hand. Maybe they need two hands. Are they going to steer their horse through an obstacle course while they hold the spoon? Are they just going to walk in a straight line and practice woes and walk-ons while they hold a spoon? What does that look like? And this is really good too for practicing one-handed reining or neck reining on opposite hands. So, you could have them go through the course one direction holding the spoon in the right hand, and then come back through holding the spoon in their left hand. So lots of different variations of things that you can do with a spoon, little bath toy things, and then Pom Poms. And then also with these bath toys, these guys are light enough to where you could have like a toss station. So I have different little bath toys that are different colors. So I have red, blue, green, so for this example, we have green and yellow. Your student could halt the horse by a bucket, pick up a certain color, and then they have to go take their horse over to the green bucket or the yellow bucket and toss that item in while they're moving, which is more difficult, or woe the horse by the bucket and toss it in. All of those activities reinforce riding skills. So if you are walking by and tossing in, you're going to have to hold with one hand with your rein, and then you're also going to have to kind of plan ahead and get your horse close enough and regulate that speed to be able to toss in the toy. If you're woeing the horse by the bucket or whatever you're tossing these to, that's kind of what we would call precision woeing. So how are you going to get your horse close to that bucket so that you can toss your toy in there? And you can make it even harder for your students that are maybe a little bit more advanced, and this is harder than you might think it is, but to tell them that they need to woe their horse so that the bucket that they toss it into is on a certain side of their body, and have them figure out how they navigate their horse around in the arena to woe so that they can toss the item off the left or the right side. So just a few ideas there. So again, these games that we use in our lessons are not just games. There should be a deeper purpose to it. And sometimes our students, we don't necessarily need to tell them, oh, you're practicing this and this and this, but you can reinforce these skills consistently as your students are playing games or doing obstacle courses. When they go out and play games and do obstacle courses, it's not just a free, fun break time for you and your students. You should still be teaching. All right, so I have two little puzzles here. These could be set up around the arena where you have your blank puzzle board located at your stopping station, and then the different pieces of the puzzle located around the arena. You could have your riders do 2-point from their puzzle to the piece station, and then they could ride one-handed on the way back, or they could hold their new puzzle piece above their head or out to the side as they walk back. So you're working on some balance while the horse is moving. I'm gonna check comments here. I think I saw a couple come in. Okay, so different puzzle ideas that you can do. I really like the Melissa and Doug puzzles. Those are usually, you know, $7 to $18 depending on the puzzle. Those tend to hold up for a really long time. I really like those, but occasionally the dollar store and Target has some really cool little puzzles for a cheaper price. But if you're looking to invest into something, the Melissa and Doug ones are really good. All right, so I have Popsicle Sticks here. This could also go along with either the dice, if you want to write numbers on here, or the little spinners. They're somewhere here. Aha, right here. So either the dice or the spinners. And what you could do, I stole this from a mom's page of chores, is you could write riding skills or warm-up activities on here. So like whoa and walk on, or 2 point for 5 seconds, or turn on the haunches, or a walk trot transition, you know, different skills that your riders could demonstrate, or warm-ups like arm circles, toe touches, ankle flexes, and they could draw a popsicle stick, and then they could either roll the dice or do the spinner to see how many repetitions they need to do for this activity. Or you could even use these on your own or on their own and just have them draw that item and then go out and do it. Another thing you could do as well is write parts of the saddle, parts of the horse on here, and then your student has to draw a stick, and then they could go up and either, you know, point to where it's at, or they could even set the stick, you know, near that location. And that could be a really fun way to kind of test more knowledge. Reading would be great as well. So a couple ideas there. All right, let's see what I have. So I have one thing left here. All right, we have 1, 2, 3's puzzle cards, sight words. So again, you know, just some more things that we could incorporate and help kind of reinforce everyday life skills of number identification, building a puzzle. So this has 3 different parts. So it has the head, the body, and the legs of like a veterinarian, a firefighter, a pilot. So they could go ride around the arena and have to go identify what pieces they need for their person. So that is pretty much it for the bottom of my game bag here. But, you know, when you're out looking for different games and activities, you know, think outside the box of, one, is it safe to use in the arena? And again, all of these things are something I would have to school my horses on how to use, and then also, you know, educate the volunteers that might be assisting you of how to safely incorporate these in the lesson, and how to safely help you reinforce the activity with your students. But think more along the lines too of, what can I use these games or activities to reinforce? So think of it as more than just a game. You know, there's research out there that shows that not only children, but also adults, we learn better and learn more quickly and through less repetitions if we do things through a game. So, you know, doing age-appropriate games and activities are great. I usually will do a game and an activity, you know, every couple weeks. I usually don't do one every week, because then my students kind of expect it. Even for my more involved students, we may or may not do a game. It's kind of hit or miss on whether or not we do. So I'm going to read comments here before I jump off. So Anne, is it Anne or Annie? A-N-N-E. Still don't know. Is it Anne-E or Anne? All right, so just saw a few other people jump on. So thank you everyone for watching. If you guys have any other ideas of how you could incorporate the activities or the games that I showed in this video, go ahead and drop a comment. Love to hear from you guys. And then also, if there's any other riding skills that you could think of that would partner well with these, and that these activities and games could help reinforce. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Kylie, congratulations on winning this bag, and I will drop it in the mail on Monday for you.